All right, Baruch Hashem, a good tavach. We are recording our final Motzei Shabbos class of this series. This is day 27 out of 30. And just to remind you that the 30th letter will be learned at the SoulWords house, which is, God willing, opening just in the nick of time for such an event. We're still finishing off construction over there, and I'm very, very excited to do something at the house, right, like literally while the paint is drying. Baruch Hashem, call it the soft launch. We don't have everything 100%. Not all of the decor is going to be up and all that, but more or less, we're ready for action. The house, by the way, the first floor is for events like Verbrengens and Shurim. The basement is a full podcast studio, full video production facility. So that's not going to be ready yet till after Pesach. But the first floor, we're going to have events. That'll be 95% ready. And okay, so let me just explain. We will live stream this for people who want to watch online. I understand it's Erev Pesach, so many people won't be able to get out of the house. Make sure, please, by the way, that you are subscribed to my YouTube and turn on notifications. That way you'll know when I go live. But also, I'm going to admit my ulterior motive. I'm almost at 100,000 subscribers, and I want to get that silver plaque that YouTube gives you if you get 100,000 subscribers, because I want to put up the silver plaque in the SoulWords house. So can you please help me? Please, right now, please, if you're watching right now, just hit subscribe. It's not going to inconvenience you in any way. In fact, you can hit subscribe and not even turn on notifications. And then it will literally just be like completely in the background. It will not bother you. But just hit subscribe, right? Like really, really. Please, please, please just hit subscribe. Okay, because I need that silver plaque. I suppose I could probably go on eBay and find somebody else's silver plaque that they're selling, but it won't say SoulWords on it. Okay, hit subscribe. Thank you. Okay, if you want, okay, the event Tuesday night is for women. It's for women only. Space is severely limited. Severely sounds harsh. It is limited, very limited, whatever word you want to use. Please RSVP. You must RSVP. It is by RSVP only. The link is below. Just hit the link and subscribe. I'm caught up on the subscribing thing. Well, do that too. Subscribe if you haven't. Okay, that's one. You know what? Let's do all the advertisements. Get the 4 Cups Haggadah, which I edited, which is a 12-step recovery-based Haggadah, which is really based in Chassidus. But for people who are on a recovery journey, they will really enjoy this at their Seder. Order it now and get it in time for your Seder. Okay, it's full of Chassidus, 4 Cups Haggadah. Make sure to, if you're a woman and you're attending the Tuesday night event at the SoulWords house, please make sure right now, RSVP. What else? Oh, tzedakah, we got to do the Kol Chabad Pushka app, because we're preparing for Yud Aleph Nisan by learning Torah and by giving tzedakah. We do the both together. The Kol Chabad Pushka app. Okay. What? Sound wasn't on. We got to do it again. Kol Chabad's making a lot of extra money off of me by every time I push the button and the sound isn't on. I have to do it again. Okay. Okay, fun. Okay, yeah, I think that's everything. Let's learn our letter. This is from the Igros Chelik Hey, from the 5th volume of Igros. Oh, speaking of volumes of Igros, if you are coming to the live event on Tuesday, this is very cool. We will be raffling off a full, complete set of Igros Kodesh. So please make sure that you have room in the car home with you after the event, because everyone who attends the live event on Tuesday will be entered into a raffle, and we'll draw that raffle at the end of the class, and one lucky winner will be going home with a complete set of Igros Kodesh of the Rebbe's published letters from Kahos Publications. And okay, fine. Let's learn our letter. Baruch Shem Chav Gimel Tevis Tavshin Yud Beis Brooklyn Shalom Avracha. This letter is from the 23rd of Tevis, from Tavshin Yud Beis, 1952. Kibalti michtavi mechai tevis v'chein hakodim loy v'apan hamusker b'pnim. I received your letter and your previous letter, and also the pan. The pan means a special petition for blessings that one sends to a tzaddik. Korosiv alatzion shall kved guzmeir v'chami admor zeichet tzadik v'kodesh levrocha l'chai he'elam habad nishmose begins to miram nezuchose yogan aleinu ubli sofek asher yo'er rachim imrabim olav lebrios anachena. I read your pan, your pidyon nefesh, at the Frierdiker Rebbe's oil, and without a doubt it will arouse abundant mercy. That's the nusach hapan. You write onal yo'er rachim imrabim to arouse abundant mercy. So certainly, without a doubt, it will arouse abundant mercy upon you regarding your health. Suppose the person had some type of a health issue that was mentioned in the pan. Mashakosov she'avsher garim inachas b'michtav hakoydim b'mashakosov she'enes svaratzin b'nusach hamayna. Okay. Regarding what you wrote, that you're concerned you possibly caused dissatisfaction, displeasure, the opposite of nachas, in your previous letter. So I guess in the second letter, he's referring to something. There's a correspondence going back and forth between him and the Rebbe. So in his second letter, he says, by the way, in my previous letter, I think I may have caused some dissatisfaction. I guess he's apologizing for causing some dissatisfaction. In writing that I wasn't satisfied with the answer, meaning with the Rebbe's answer. God forbid there is no displeasure here whatsoever. No, I'm not upset, not offended, not angry. No. It was just a sort of disappointment, which, I'm just imagining being the person who's getting this letter, like that I was saying, no, chas v'shalom, you didn't cause a lack of nachas, you didn't cause the opposite of nachas, but, you want me to be honest, it was disappointing. There's something so fatherly about that, right? Like, that's a classic father's line. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. And, some fathers say it in like a passive-aggressive, manipulative way, trying to give you that guilt trip. Obviously, that's not the way that Rebbe means it here. Rebbe means it the way that a healthy father says it. When a healthy father says it, it's like, look, here's something you could have done better. If you're ready to hear it, I'll tell you what it is. And that way you have a chance to be informed. You don't know what you don't know. So I'm going to inform you, and that way you could change your behavior, right? So that's basically what the Rebbe is doing here, is saying, look, yeah, it was disappointing, but let me explain to you what was disappointing. Maybe then you can have a chance to change your attitude here. So, yeah, ki kavonasi b'hamayna sheli haya hahevich miperushay bay. My intent in my answer to you was exactly the opposite of how you interpreted it. The person wasn't satisfied with the Rebbe's answer, and the Rebbe is saying, I think you misinterpreted. I think the source of your dissatisfaction was that you didn't even understand what I was answering you. Like, I wrote clearly that the guarantees of that tzaddikim are great. Now, I can't say this for sure. I think probably, this is in the 50s still, right? So, what was this? It was Tavis of Tafshin Yud Beis. This is a couple of years after Yud Shvat. In fact, it's not even 2 years after Yud Shvat, meaning the Histalkus of the Frierdiker Rebbe. I'm assuming this is somebody who had some type of havtacha, some type of a guarantee from the Frierdiker Rebbe, and the Rebbe, this chosid wrote to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe basically said to him, "Yeah, you're good. Like, you have a havtacha from the Frierdiker Rebbe," and the person, I'm imagining all this, but it's consistent with a lot of other information that I have. The person probably wrote back and said, like, but I want something else. I want the Rebbe's havtacha. I want whatever it was. And the Rebbe is saying, like, I already told you, you're good. Like, that's not a brush off. I wasn't trying to be dismissive. I was like, no, you're good. You have the havtacha of the tzaddik. It was clear to me that the promises of the tzaddikim must come to pass. They're unstoppable. the promises of the tzaddikim are an unstoppable force. It may take time sometimes, but there's nothing that will stop it. And therefore, the only thing you have left to do is just to paskin, and by zich. You have to make a steadfast declaration. Paskening is like making a halachic decision, like making a firm decision. Behechlet gomer, with absolute conviction. Asher kaloshen Rav Reb Yankiv Mordechai Zal me Poltava, the Poltava Rav Yankiv Mordechai. So he used to say, Azai is der inyan. That's just what it is. Like, don't bother me. That's just what it is. In other words, the Rebbe is saying like this. Let's not complicate this. I don't know what the matter is that he has a haftacha for, but the point is that Rebbe is saying, you have the haftacha. So you're good. Everything's done. The only thing that's lacking, if anything's lacking, is you just have to have clarity that it's good. And it doesn't have to be so complicated. You don't have to have such a deep explanation. It can just be azay is der inyan. That's it. That's what it is. However, you interpreted my response completely the opposite. Like, I'm trying to tell you, you've got this, and you're taking it as like a dismissal. Now I'm confused. Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I don't know what further to answer you. Like, I told you, if we can be so bold, it's like, from the Rebbe's perspective, it's like, I gave you the most ironclad answer you could possibly want. I told you, you have the haftacha of tzaddikim. Probably almost 100%. I'm sure that the Rebbe means the Frierdiker Rebbe's haftacha. You have that. So, like, that's it. There's nothing more to do. Just get it clear in your mind that that's what it is. And you write me back as if the matter is still unresolved. It's like, unresolved? This is as good as cash in hand. We're done. Like, you've got this. And now, but the fact that you don't feel that was a satisfactory answer, the Rebbe says that's why I'm like kind of disappointed here. Like, what else do you want me to tell you? Like, we're not speaking the same language. Now, obviously, in the Rebbe's answer, the Rebbe is trying to teach this chosid the Rebbe's language and teach this chosid the Rebbe's perspective and worldview. So, it's not, look, the Rebbe could have just said, whatever, okay, yeah, fine. The Rebbe is spelling it out as an opportunity for the recipient of the letter to think about this and to correct his thinking. And consequently, we're able to sort of look in on this as, the expression in English is the fly on the wall, but we use the expression from Shlomo Melech, the spider in the palace. We're able to sort of watch this and glean from this also a course correction if we need one. And who among us doesn't need a little bit of a reminder about the importance of Amunas Tzadikim, Amunas Chachamim, having absolute faith, V'yaminu b'Hashem of Moshe Avdei. It's always good to get back to basics and get clarity in that area. Okay, now here's the tough part of the letter, and maybe people watching will have some insight from me, and you want to write to me, let me know how you interpret it, or you could leave it in the comments below. Ki yadua piskim kvekdus adma marash nishmas eden, as eisius git yechidish v'nefesh. It's known that the Rebbe Marash, the fourth Rebbe of Chabad, said that Oisius, letters, and that can mean like modes of expression, of communication, stem from the Yechidah Shebenefesh, from the core, the essence of the soul. Upiskim kvedus mir v'chami admur, as amol entfert men, was es entfert sich allein. Sometimes you answer that which answers itself. These are both sort of, to me, cryptic statements. First, so the context is that Rebbe says, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm confused how to continue here because I've already told you the most ironclad guarantee, and you were disappointed, and then you were concerned that you upset me, and I'm telling you, no, I'm not upset, but I'm disappointed, actually. I don't know where to go further here because I've already said it really clearly and you misinterpreted it. But I'll just tell you, like, Oisius come from the Yechidish Benefesh. Sometimes an answer is self-evident. That's how I'll translate that as amol entfet men, was es entfet sich allein. Sometimes something doesn't need to really be, I think this is what it means. Like, sometimes something doesn't need to be spelled out. Although, we say it, even though this goes without saying. Okay, so why are you saying it? Okay, because sometimes we just say it. Why? I don't know, because it's coming from Yechidish Benefesh. Sometimes you say a truth, even though the truth is self-evident. Not because it needs to be said, but it's coming out. I don't know, that's how I'm reading it. Upiskim achsidim, and then another saying of the, it's interesting, we have these three piskamim. We have the Piskum of the Rebbe Marash, we have the Piskum of the Frierdiker Rebbe, and we have the Piskum of Chassidim. I'm sure there's a deeper kavanah also in this, and who's being quoted, and what order, and which quotes, but that's beyond my pay grade. Piskum of Chassidim, Asher Hamayna Hamiskabel Ish Pleni, Perushe Talib Mida Yedua, V'yazoi der Makabel is das Mefarish. The answer that somebody gets is dependent to a great extent on the person, on the way they are. Meaning people hear what they want to hear or what they're capable of hearing. Ubefrat im makabel hu bal tzura v'emed al daite al derech deis b'mishna reish hoirius zeh klal atela ba'atzmech chulu. Especially if the person is a smart guy and he relies on his understanding. In other words, I think what it's saying is a more simple person would just take my statement at face value and be done. But sometimes when somebody is a big thinker, so he's reading a lot into it, I think that's what the Rebbe is saying. It's like, look, I told you a very obvious statement. You have a haftach of tzadikim, we're good. Like, you couldn't ask for more than that. You started reading all types of stuff into there. Okay, like, so that's coming from you. That's not what I wrote. Like, if you were dissatisfied from my answer, but that's not, your only dissatisfaction is from the way that you misinterpreted it. Okay, that's how I'm reading it. And I would invite any further clarity about how to piece this together. At any rate, this that you asked for forgiveness, that's totally unnecessary. Like, there's no need to ask for forgiveness. You didn't offend me. You didn't do anything wrong. Like, not hurt. It's just like, I don't know what to tell you anymore because I told you the clearest thing and you're not really getting it. So, like, what else do you want me to do? Now, the Rebbe clarifies. It is obvious there's absolutely nothing at all here of, like, pushing you away, dismissing you, God forbid, and God forbid. Like, I'm not trying to push you off, so I don't want you to feel that way whatsoever. Now, here's an interesting comment. And we remember last night we had that letter to the Mechanech, to Rabbi Barnetsky or on Thursday night, the last time we had a shir. The letter about chinuch, about children, about you have to be loving and tolerant and accepting for yourself, and then you can transmit it to the students. So a similar thing that I was saying about our time, our day and age. If the concept of pushing people away is negated in all times, in all eras. Harei befrat b'yameinu ela ikvas de Mashiach demat regilin be raglin beraglin asher hakorev hakirav yisachtos. I'm sorry, asher hakirav yisachtos. Especially in our days of the footsteps of Mashiach, when Mashiach is very close, where the closeness, the unity of Chassidim, ukpiskum at TZADIK, or like the TZADIK said, this is the third Rebbe being quoted in this letter, by Chassidim is mit zer achtes wellen ze gehen an kegen Mashiach. The Chassidim, with their unity, they will greet Mashiach, meaning the unity of Chassidim will be a catalyst to bring redemption. So for sure, there's no dichui, there's no pushing off here. I'm not, God forbid, and God forbid, that it was a double chas v'shalom. I'm not pushing you off. To the contrary that I was saying, I told you what I felt was like a very positive answer. It didn't land that way for you. Okay, so what else can I tell you? Maybe you'll go re-examine this whole subject and learn how to look at it differently. All right, but at any rate, there's only kirov here. There's nothing of the opposite whatsoever. I only want to, extend warmth and build a closer relationship. Not God forbid to push you away. Okay. Nanese lahidia al yidei harav chosid avosik v'chosid yishir elikim nechman v'noim oisik b'tarchit tzibah v'chulu marino rav Reb ben Zion Shich Shem Tov. I was happy to be informed. I was pleased to be informed by the esteemed chosid Reb ben Zion Shem Tov al derech limudei shel kvei teroscha shich berabim, that you are teaching Torah in public. You're leading some group classes. I was very happy to hear that. V'gam anal hisein lifnei shenira b'kvei teroscha shichya eze nefilas ruach. He expressed some concern that he sees that you are kind of disappointed. Using that word nefilas ruach again, that you're sort of disappointed. So I implore you, that's how I'll translate it, to think about, like, I guess the person's giving public classes, and Zion Shem Tov mentioned that he noticed that this person maybe is not feeling so excited about it, maybe feels frustrated with it. Sometimes you give a class and you don't think people are showing up, or you don't think people are listening, or whatever it is. I don't know. So some type of disappointment. So the Rebbe says, I would just implore you to meditate on this, that on the greatness, on the greatness of the matter that was given over to us from our Rebbes, Zecher TZADIK v'Kodesh levracha l'chayim haba nishmasam begin zemereim schusam yogin yoginu aleinu v'meila mi yidme u'mi yishvelanu. And therefore, who can compare to us? We are carrying the message and the mandate of the Rebbeim, the holy Rebbeim. So don't forget that. Who can compare to us? It is upon our shoulders which this shlichus is being carried, this mission from the holy Rebbeim. And this is a interesting phrase. This is ke'ein dimyan. It's somewhat like, maybe we'll say it's comparable. Lamasha Omer Rashbi, to what the Rashbi said. Anos simona ba'alma. I am nothing but a siman. I'm nothing but a mark, a note. That's the way I translate a siman. You know, like a person leaves a little mark or an indication or something, a sign. Why do Rashbi, Rebbe Shimon ben Yochai, why do you say, I'm just a little note? I'm a little notation. So in Chassidus, it's explained that Rashbi, what was he explaining? What was he saying? That he was saying, like, I'm just a representation of godliness in this world. I'm nothing. I'm just a transparent conduit. So I'm just the siman. I'm just the mark. But Hashem is shining through me. Because he had no existence for himself, he was able to say this because he was nothing but the master, nothing but Hashem. And therefore, as we know from, well, it's in Zohar, but we know it from chapter 10 of Tanya, he says, "V're'isi b'nei aliyah v'hei mu'atim v'chulu." I've seen the men of ascent. There are very few of them, and he was one of them. Talks about to enter the chamber of Rashbi in heaven. There's very few people who could gain access there. They have to be on this level of b'nei aliyah, the men of ascent. And Rashbi was one of them, and he knew he was one of them. But he was able to say that because he didn't have an existence for himself. So the Rebbe is saying a similar thing, like, we are carrying the mandate that the Rebbeim gave us. And in that sense, it's not about us, really. It's about the power, the holiness of that mission. So the Rebbe is saying to this chosid who's giving public classes, and apparently, according to Ben Shem Tov, this person's feeling a little bit disappointed about it. The Rebbe is like, you got to, like, get out of your own head and just think about this from a perspective of, we're just here to carry out the shlichus of the Rebbe. And when you look at it like that, then there's no room for disappointment. There's just, I mean, the Rebbe says, who can compare to us? Like, you can't, I mean, this is a real ashreinu matev chalkenu. This is we're so lucky. We're so fortunate. Va'af ki mihu zeh asher adav libai. Now, on one hand, you could argue, who has the audacity to say they could approach that level of Rashbi? Okay, maybe I'm reading it wrong. Not who can say they have the audacity to approach the level of Rashbi, which Rashbi said, I'm nothing but a conduit for Hashem. Maybe you could say, Rashbi could say he's nothing but a conduit for Hashem. Fine, no problem. But now you want to use that as an example of how we can say, similarly, we're nothing but a conduit for the Rebbeim. And, you know, could we really say that about ourselves? Are we really in a position to make such a statement about ourselves? So, yeah, I won't. So, yeah, chosid yesh koicha. So, asher arav liba. Avol metzad zeh. Yeah. Avol metzad zeh shebechol chosid yesh koicha shel Rebbe. But every chosid has within him the koyach of the Rebbe. Bimlei al kol panim behalim, hineo kamesha tzarich lias, uvechosid hineo halim, sheyesh nebe mitzias, v'lei eid ela shekaravu ela gilui. It may not be, even if it's not in a revealed state, like you have the Rebbe's koyach in you, every chosid has the Rebbe's koyach in you, and even if it's not in a revealed state, but it's close to revelation. It's there, and it's not just there, it's close to revelation. B'mleilei yachzer die breitkeit, as long as the person will not lack the call it the expanded mindedness. Verak levakish ma'kodesh baruch hu lishtamish b'zeh, to just ask Hashem for the access, the ability to make use of this, eis nutzen das, to use it out. Wie men darf und auf was men darf, to use it how we should and for the things that we should. Ubefrat be'inyan limud Torah, especially in the areas of limud Torah. So, like, you're doing the Rebbe shlichus, the way that I often refer to it is the company credit card. You know, once you report for duty and you say, all right, I'm here to do work. I'm here to work for you. All right, great. So I need this, I need this, I need this. All right, can I get the company credit card? Because I'm not doing it for myself. I already surrendered. I already said I'm working for the Rebbe. Oh, in that case, you get the company credit card. It's not a personal expense, it's a business expense. So the Rebbe is saying, you are nothing more than the conduit through which the Rebbe's vision is being expressed. And if that's the case, I know, like, it's hard to look at yourself this way. It's like, it feels like audacity, it feels like chutzpah, but the reality is that the koiches of the Rebbe are in you. And not just there, but they're actually very close to being revealed. And you just have to have the expanded mindedness to say to Hashem, Hashem, can you give me access to this, please? Can I get some of the Rebbe's koiches going? Because that's what I need right now. And it really isn't an outlandish request by any means. I mean, that itself, just that one concept, I think, is worth the price of admission. And what did you pay to learn this class? Nothing, probably. So it's definitely worth the price of admission. But, you know, think about that. The Rebbe is saying every chosid has the Rebbe's koiches in him in a way that is accessible. It's caught of legilui. It can easily come out. And all you have to do is just turn to Hashem and say, Hashem, I need access to this. I need to put this on the Rebbe's bill, not mine. I can't cover it. I cannot cover it. I don't have the koiches for it, but the Rebbe does. Ki yadua hanafka mina bein Torah letfila. Now, the Rebbe says, especially in areas of Torah, to ask to use the Rebbe's koiches, and it's known the difference between Torah and tefillah. Asher betfila befrat tfilas yemei achoil hu mimata lamayla umina meitzer. Davening, especially non-Shabbos davening. Shabbos davening is a little bit more like just blissed out peace. It's like almost like Mashiach. Every Shabbos is like a taste of Mashiach. But so you're not working. It's not so much like that hard work as much. But weekday tefillah, davening, is really this struggle where you're working up the ladder, struggling with the animal soul, and that's from below to above. Yeah, but when you're learning Torah, especially when you're learning chassidus, which is called Ilona de Chaya, the tree of life, then it's flowing downward. That's from above to below. Und mit der Breitkeit, and it's in an ample way. In other words, tefillah is more like measured because you're working with your resources, what you can muster, what you can put together. Torah is when you're receiving, you're on the receiving end of the funnel, and Hashem is bestowing to you from his unlimited resources, and especially when you're learning chassidus. So basically, it sounds like the guy is teaching a shir chassidus publicly and was frustrated in some way with it, and then I was telling him, listen, you're not doing this for yourself, you're doing this for the Rebbe, so like just tell Hashem you need some of the Rebbe's koiches to flow through you, and it'll gush. There's no problem here. Bivrach lebrias and nechayna uvelishmei besuras tevis takef umiyad bechlal umibiriyusei befrat. Or no, it's not takef umiyad. What is that? Suras tevis. Why am I not getting the Rosh Hashanah? Someone will send it in to me. So at any rate, a blessing for your health, and that you should hear good news. In general, it has to mean somehow in general. This could also be the case where the PDF is just a disaster. Sorry to waste your time, but I'm gonna. Did everyone notice on these PDFs? One good thing about the PDFs is that there's a hyperlink at the top, which is clickable. I guess that's the definition of a hyperlink. There's a clickable link that'll take you to the actual letter in ChabadLibrary.org. Okay, so I'm looking at the real thing. B'suras Tevis, yeah, it's the same thing. Taf Chof Hey Yod. Sorry, guys. Bichlal. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Bichlal means in general. What's this Taf Chof Hey Yod? Yeah, so anyways, we should hear good news in general from you, and especially specifically about your health. Musker pnim michtov aklali bekeshim chagim hu yem Yutes Kislev, and there's enclosed in here the michtov klali, the general letter that was written to all Jews everywhere in honor of the festivals, which is Yutes Kislev. And that's the end of the letter. I wonder what those Rosh Hashanahs are. I would Google it, which I'm going to do a second I finish here. And, yeah, okay. Excellent. Okay, guys, a good Tavach. We got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We got 3 more nights of this. What are we going to do every night at 9 p.m. after this is over? Okay, good Tavach.